New this morning, a shooting involving an officer overnight. And again, Albuquerque police is the department involved in a week that is shaping up to be just brutal for city cops and their chief.
The shooting went down on the far west side of Albuquerque. It's where we sent News 13's Samantha McDonald. This is at 60th Street and Central. I know, Sam, you're going to get to some graphic video in just a moment, but I just want to warn people that if they don't want to see that, now is the time to turn away.
That's right, Matt. APD Chief Gordon Eden was out here at about 1:30 this morning. He said a man came out of his house and shot at police, who then returned his fire. We do have video of last night's shooting. It was posted on YouTube by a man named Bob Cornelius. It is graphic video. We do want to warn you. You can hear the shots being fired. Now, the investigation into the shooting is in the very preliminary stages. What we do know is that 9:07 last night, officers responded to a call about a man pointing a gun at a juvenile. When police got to the complex on 60th Street and Avalon Northwest, the suspect exited an apartment with a gun and fired the weapon. An officer or officers returned fire. The suspect was rushed to the hospital. His condition is unknown, and the officers involved were not injured. Again, all of this information from police is preliminary. We will give you more details as soon as they become available. Back to you.
All right, thank you for the update, Samantha. That shooting came down not long after hundreds of protesters here took to the streets in downtown Albuquerque calling for change at Albuquerque's police department. Demonstrators marched straight to police headquarters, outraged over the shooting of a homeless camper, James Boyd, that happened back on the 16th, along with other police shootings.
Albuquerque PD! You are guilty!
The guy didn't have to die.
We are all ready for it! We are all ready for it!
All right, disturbing video right here. Another warning for you from APD officers. Its helmet camera video shows police shooting Boyd as he appears to be turning around. In this case, APD Chief Gordon Eden says officers fired because Boyd was threatening a canine officer, a police dog, with knives. Initially, Chief Eden called the shooting justified, but on Monday, Mayor R.J. Berry said the chief misspoke, and Eden later agreed his comments were premature. Of course, this all comes in the middle of a federal investigation into the culture at APD. Now, later today, there will be a closed-door meeting between the federal government, the Department of Justice, community activists, and family members of people shot by police here. The meeting is closed to the public, but we will have reaction here on News 13 later today from people who are invited to that meeting. You'll also be able to get that at KRQE.com.
City Council appointed task force studying civilian oversight of APD is also calling for a change. The idea behind the task force was to make the Police Oversight Commission more effective. Well, yesterday, members condemned the police shooting in the foothills and urged the council to move quickly on the recommendations.
I don't think we need to wait for another shooting to happen before we start to set up some new policies that are going to prevent this from happening again.
The task force says the Oversight Commission must have real power to deal with police. They want the commission to be independent with its own funding and staff. The City Council has yet to act on the task force recommendations. We will have continuing coverage on everything having to do with all APD shootings, including today's DOJ meeting right here on News 13. We will also have the very latest online at KRQE.com.
The autopsy report is out on Amari Varela, the 9-year-old boy who police say was kicked to death by his own mother. And it shows the State Children, Youth and Families Department knew a lot more about Amari than it revealed to the media and the public. The Office of the Medical Investigator report shows Amari died from internal bleeding from a beating. The boy had old injuries, scars, which investigators say are from a history of abuse. The investigators say his mother, Cynthia Varela Casaus, admitted to kicking him in their home in late December. The report also states that CYFD had 9 referrals about Omari. The agency originally said it had just 3, but now confirms it was 9, and CYFD says it could only confirm 3 at the time because of privacy laws.
A new poll shows Gary King is way out in front of all the rest of the Democrats in the governor's race, and he's polling pretty close to Susana Martinez overall. The numbers from the left-leaning public policy polling have King leading the other 4 Democrats by 11 points, but some political observers don't think King has locked in on the June primary.
and maybe gives him an opportunity to raise a little bit more money and keep his name out there for a little bit longer. But I don't think this really changes the overall outcome in terms of what we'll see, in the overall Democratic primary.
The poll shows Governor Susana Martinez leading King by just 5 points if they went head-to-head. This poll did oversample Democratic voters.
The Bernalillo County District Attorney is purposefully thumbing her nose at a state statute, she says, to try to help taxpayers. On special assignment last night, we showed you how a statute requires state departments to use the New Mexico Department of Information Technology's phone system. Almost everyone in state government does. DA Carrie Brandenburg says it is too expensive and unreliable, though, so she has to get out of the service. She even returned all the state's phones and signed up with a private phone company. Ms. Brandenburg says she is saving $5,000 a month, but the state continues to bill her for service she says she is not using. The total is nearly $93,000. The IT cabinet secretary says he never gave Ms. Brandenburg permission to use a private company.
When they say they want out of the service and they eventually dump all those phones on your front office here, I mean, wasn't that announcement enough that they wanted out of the contract?
Yeah, that's fair, but I guess when if you move, you don't take your phone or your satellite box and drive it over to, the satellite company and throw it on the door and say, quit sending me a bill. There's a formal process for a reason.
Well, there is much more to this story. See it, including Carrie Brandenburg's comments online anytime at KRQE.com, or you can watch it tonight at 9 o'clock on 2 Casa.